welcome to Labour Lens. I am Sharon Ijason. On this week's episode of the program, we'll be discussing about the plight of ex-Nigerian Airways workers who are actually going through verification exercise in various parts of the country. But first, let's take the news. We will be right back. It's the 40th anniversary of the National Union of Textile Garment and Tailoring Workers of Nigeria, and they are excited about this feat but also worried about the rate at which the textile industry has crippled. The workers took a walk from the Union Secretariat in Agidingbi to Ikeja. According to labor leaders, the march is symbolic and also a reminder to the government that most of the textile mills are no more existent.
It combines a lot of things. In terms of membership-wise, you can see that we have gone down from what we used to be. But for us to keep surviving, which is what we are today, I think it is equally wonderful to say that the spirit and the foundations of our past leaders, the current leaders, are equally able to sustain it. And that gives us the hope that with policy changes and commitment from the government, I think tomorrow can still be bright.
Why we are quite not impressed, in fact we are depressed that the industry has gone down, but we are not agonizing, we are rather organizing to make sure that we call on government at all levels, federal, state government, to put us together, to make sure that we have a bipartisan approach for revival of industries.
Provide the enabling environment for the factories to come back. The issues are clear. Buy made in Nigeria for the Nigerian Army, for Nigerian police, for students, for the hotels, for the uniform agencies, for our nurses. Once we buy those things from Nigerian textile industry, our workers will return back to work. The factories will reopen. So on this occasion of our 40th anniversary, we are calling on the Nigerian government at all levels to buy made in Nigeria.
The Director General of the Nigeria Employers Consultative Association, NECA, Segun Shinawo, says if the economy of Nigeria will thrive, the government and other relevant agencies have to revive the textile industry and also create an enabling environment for manufacturers.
We can't operate as an island on our own in a liberalized world trade. We've got to compete with other producers of the same product around the world. So the basic issue of infrastructure is there. The basic issue of our tariff is there. The basic issue even of our taxation structure is there. The situation where you have multiple taxation, right, it increases the cost to the employers and makes us very, very uncompetitive. And those are the basic issues that government really need to look at if we are going to encourage industrialization in Nigeria.
Workers during the rally had different inscriptions written on the placards to pass their information on the need to revive the industry, which would create more jobs for the youth.
Pegging the new national minimum wage at a figure acceptable to all employers of labor has continued to prove elusive. The strike recently embarked on by organized labor may have prompted a reconvening of the tripartite committee, but it has done little else. While organized labor and the organized private sector had been able to shift ground to arrive at the 30,000 naira minimum wage, it is a figure that has not found resonance with state governors who insist on 20,000 naira.
We have a figure of the federal government and the state governments have theirs. The state government figure as the last time was 20,000. The federal government had a figure of 24,000, and that was where we all stood. And this negotiation took into account these irreducible offers from the different governments, but we could not arrive at a consensus. Even though we adjourned our meeting and said we'll put up a report that will reflect this position, we are still continuing to discuss.
Besides, not all employers of labor in the private sector feel comfortable with the 30,000 naira minimum wage.
Organized private sector moved from the 25 to join labor at 30,000 naira a month. However, it's good I point out one or two things. The organized private sector, led by NECA, that's the Nigerian Employees Consultative Assembly, and Manufacturers Association of Nigeria and NASIMA, they represent just about 40% of employers in the private sector. The Small and Medium Scale Industries Association were not present at the meeting, where they now moved their figure. And I do remember that at our last meeting, even the figure of 25, the small, medium scale industries refused. They refused to be part of it.
The Labour Minister insists that the ability of different employers of labour to pay is the guiding principle in fixing the minimum wage, which will become a national law.
You don't hoist on somebody an agreement you cannot implement. You don't make a law that people find difficult to implement. The issue of national minimum wage is a national law that will bind everybody. Informal sector, private sector, organized and unorganized, government, and in government, federal government, state government, and local government. So if the local governments and the states are saying, we are not capable, we cannot carry this, you can hoist it on them. That is why it's a consensual discussion.
He is confident that the tripartite committee will soon arrive at a figure comfortable to all parties and insists that the talks are not deadlocked. Arriving at a new national minimum wage acceptable to all is a huge task the Buhari government must quickly resolve if it must go into elections on a sound footing.
As organized labor clamors for increased minimum wage, the Nigeria Governors Forum is insisting states cannot meet their demands. Unions have settled for a 30,000 naira minimum pay against the 24,000 naira the federal government is proposing. The chairman of the Governors Forum and Zamfara State Governor, Abdulaziz Yari, told journalists after the forum's 8th meeting that the nation's economy is unstable and wants workers to be patient.
We can do minimum wage of any number we need, but the issue is ability or resources to take care of the minimum wage agreed. That's the something in question. In the last meeting, I think I have spoke about the issue of when the Minister of Labor is here and the committee by the federal government, and also our own in-house committee to represent us in the total discussion. We make it very clear that we're not against any upward review of salary. We're not in tandem with the NLC to get minimum wage reviewed of what. But the problem of state is capacity to pay what is agreed. As we're talking today, we are struggling with the 18,000. Some of the states are being paid 35% up, or some of them share 50%, and some of them up to, I just last my second point, saying there are some states they have salary arrears. So now, if we say, okay, we are going to do the minimum wage, we are going to review it up, then it's not about only reviewing, about how we are going to get the resources to cater for that.
The process, expected to lead to the payment of 22 billion naira to the former staff of the defunct national carrier Nigeria Airways, began on October 15, 2018. A visit to the verification ground shows it was filled with pensioners, many looking tired and sick. Many of them came in wheelchairs, walking aids, while others had gone partially blind as they were accompanied to the venue by family members. Festus Alabi Kolawole is a former worker of Nigeria Airways. He tells me he joins the defunct national carrier on October the 1st, 1980. According to him, he has spent 3 days without being verified.
My health status is not good at all, and there are many people like that here. So I want the management to show concern. I've been here now since 3 days ago. 3 days ago. They should attach medical personnel to us so that they can be attending to us. So according to people, before I came, they said somebody died here because of ill health. Somebody died. It's not good like that. It's not good.
His wife was reluctant to speak with me, but after much persuasion, she says the process is slow and wants the relevant authorities to speed it up.
Àtìgbà tó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ mi ní kọ́ńṣọ́ ni mò ń dá forí rọ. Mi ò ìgbà táwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ ti wálẹ̀ kan wọn ò wá mọ́. Mo dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé àwọn náà àgbélé lórí tẹlifíṣàn lálẹ́. Mi ò rí ẹ̀pù kankan látọ̀dọ̀ àwọn èèyàn ẹ̀. Ìwọ̀n tí mo fi ń pawọ́dà gbogbo ẹ̀ ti tán mọ́ mi lọ́wọ́. Kí ìjọba kan sanwó ẹ̀ fún kí n fi tọ́jú ẹ̀ kó má jẹ́ kó kú mọ́ mi lọ́wọ́.
Since Monday, not as we don't do.
Some pensioners fault the verification process and claim the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission's officials are slowing down the verification process.
Official, AFC's official is the calamity that is stopping our advancement of this project.
Yes. See the way and manner they are treating all people, all workers of Nigerian Airways, all people of Nigerian Airways. They are wicked in their treatment. Let's call government to come and to our aid.
We are sleeping at this place because means of going, means of coming is a problem. Still, we are here since morning. I left to where I'm saying 6 o'clock till now. Nobody have answered me. Rather, they said we are still going back again and they'll be coming back tomorrow. Are we going to sleep here? And we don't know how much we are going to realize. Whether the money reach 1 naira or 2 naira. We have exhausted it here. I don't know what we are going to do.
Government should come to our head over this issue, that they should try and remove the so-called EFCC from the appointment. If they want to use them, they use them in the way that whereby there won't be any crisis. And the moment they see them, the next is that what they should point the name and let the thing enter to their account. Some people even say that they have not even seen the alert. For how long are they going to be there? We want the government to come into upon this issue. It's becoming too difficult for everybody.
I've worked for 20 or almost 30 years with Nigerian Airways. No pension, nothing whatsoever. I'm even dying of hunger. Where am I? They say I should come to collect money, my retirement benefit. That's why I am here. And I have not seen 10 kobo. I have never seen even one official, which is serious. So I'm tired. I don't know what to do. To manage and go back to my house.
That is so stressful for them. So they have to organize this in a way that will be easy for them. Maybe computerize, or they ask when they computerize it at the end of the last stage, they can ask their daughter or their to come and collect the voucher for them. It's so stressful.
According to the Nigeria Union of Pensioners, there are 5,909 ex-Nigeria Airways workers, but 900 of them are dead, as at the last count in January 2018.
They say the letter of administration that they asked us, anytime you want to collect money here, you have to get this.
Some of the family members of the former workers who had passed on were seen with documents of the late workers, but were disappointed as some names of ex-late workers did not appear.
I'm the widow of late Alhaji Abdulsalam Anataku, who worked with Nigerian Airways for about 27 years. He died 2005, December 6, 2004. So thereafter, we've been coming, to the union once in a while. If they say they need money to go to Abuja, the little we have, and all my other groups, widows, will contribute for them to go. So after some time, we stopped because there was no more, that fund. So now we heard that they are going to pay everybody that has been working and that died from 2004 to 2018. But we will not get here on last week. The first day they pasted was last week Friday. When we got here, we discovered that none of our names. I had to call those in Abeokuta, in Alakuko, everyone of us gathered. We discovered that none of our names were in the list.
The information we had that those people that died from 2004 upward is liquidation law and they should be paid something. But when we got here, one Mr. Ajayi, we were told is the only surviving staff of Nigeria Airways, said that those that died between 2004 and 2011 will not be paid, will not be captured. That's only 2012 upward will be paid. Then we asked him why. He said that is the instruction, that those ones that die have taken pension, so they don't need to collect anything. We now told him that, well, pension law is very clear. Once you die, you are not entitled to anything. But in this case, this is liquidation law. Liquidation law, those that are alive as at the time of that liquidation are entitled to liquidation benefits.
Behind me, we have thousands of ex-Nigerian Airways pensioners who are hoping to get verified. They are here to get a form to get verified, but right now as we speak, the form is not available. They have worked hard, they are tired, many of them are sick. They hope that the government will make this process very fast. Mustafa Yakubu is one of the ex-Nigerian Airway workers whose verification was successful. He thanked the federal government for looking their way after more than a decade of abandonment.
I'm happy that I get through, but it's not easy. I have to congratulate the present government for what they have done, because to me it was marvelous. Because before Yar'Adua died, he paid us some money, but unfortunately the man passed away. But when Buhari gets in, we all hope that he will do something. But now he has done it. I say congratulations to him.
At the beginning, it was very rowdy. It was very unpleasant at the beginning, but presently there is tremendous improvement because the executive have, sat down and re-strategized. And it's really working. It's really working. In different sections of the verification exercise, it's far, far much better than it was at the beginning. We really appreciate His Excellency for his initiative. It shows that he has human feelings.
The president's approval comes 14 years after the national carrier was liquidated by former President Olusegun Obasanjo and some of its assets sold to Arik Air for 950 million naira.